you do see a lot of coffee table books that somebody's designed, and all of their houses look
the exact
similar.
same.
I think it takes more talent to pull together what they like and put your little spin on it, or help them with the fabrics or something like that, where it's individual to them. I think that takes more talent than doing the same repeated look 100 times, you know, like that. So I like collecting things. Like my mother's pink depression dishes are in Glenda's china cabinet. You know, it's something beautiful. That is important to you. We can make it work in your space. We we have to help you pull it together. And,
if you have 500 of them, we might not use all of them.
That's true.
We might have a couple, but. Welcome back to At Home with Anderson Design Center. I am super excited today to bring two fabulous guests from our showroom to your screens. We're going to learn lots of knowledge from Gwynn and Paige Charbonneau. They are two of our very seasoned designers. Paige has been here for 20 plus years. 18 years, almost 20. And Gwynn has been with us for about 5 years, but she's been in the industry for 35. So lots of knowledge. You're going to learn a lot today. You're going to hear a lot from both of them, get to know them more, why they love what they do, and what makes them so special and their design abilities, and also why they love Andersons and why they love what we offer and how they can best serve you as customers and as just people who want their homes to be beautiful. So welcome, both of you. We're super excited that y'all are here with us today. They are, I will say, two of our senior designers, so they have a lot of great knowledge. So Gwynn, if you will tell me a little bit about yourself, so people can know more about you.
Well, I grew up in Laurel, so I'm
girl.
Real close to home in Hattiesburg, and I still have a lot of friends in Laurel, but I moved to Hattiesburg because my brother lived here, and now my sister lives here.
Yeah, which is sweet. Y'all have your family dinners, and
we
your
do.
Sister, she's fabulous, and you did her home.
Yes.
And it's very uniquely her, and I love that, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but your mother had a lot of antiques and china and pieces y'all collected, and it's really sweet to see that in your home and in your sister's home.
Yeah.
And I think that makes both of your personalities show your love for your mother and for your family.
Right.
So super sweet. Super sweet. So Paige, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I have lived here since I was around 12 or 13.
Hattiesburg girl.
Hattiesburg, yep, Oak Grove. And I decided to go back to school when I was 29 and get a degree in interior design.
I love it.
Never had art before. So I went and took a year of art at USM and design, and went through their program and did my internship here and just stayed on.
It's crazy to think. We were talking, I think with Lindsay was talking earlier, like she started when she was 23, I think, here. She was right out of college. I started when I was an intern in college. We've had several people that are still here that are interns, and it shows, we stay here, or most people stay here for the duration. We've got several that have been here for 15 plus years that interned here and never left. So Mr. Anderson,
well, it's a great place to work.
It is. It's a great place to work, and it's a one-stop shop, and it's got everything. It gives you as designers a lot of options, a lot of freedom, a lot of places to be creative, from furniture and rugs to renovations and new construction homes. So super sweet. But as we get started, before we get into more of our information and design tips and tricks and all the things, I'm going to start with a little fun question here. So Gwynn, I'll let you answer first. So Gwynn, what was your childhood dream room, and how does it compare to your current design style?
Okay, you see this bowl on the table?
Yes.
Our whole house in the 60s was painted this color.
The green.
So when my mother let me paint my room yellow, I was elated and had holly hobby everywhere. And this just kind of shows your design inspiration. So my walls were the pale yellow, and mother was very talented too, but my dad made these tall towers for each side of my bed. So, and they had glass shelves, but they were painted a darker yellow. And I had
monochromatic moment.
Yes. And so then I had a yellow princess phone when I turned 16, and that went
Yellow
on that
was
little
your
shelf, all the little shelves, so I could put my accessories and things out. So it kind of got it started with me early.
Yeah. So you love designs from a young age.
Yes.
Just being able to change things up, obviously from that tealish kind of green color that was popular to your fun
Yeah.
little yellow, which
Yeah.
shows your fun personality. And one thing about you is that you know what you want and you know what you like.
That's true.
And now I will say, you do design obviously beautifully for other people who their styles, but Gwynn, you know what you want. Like,
Yes.
you know your style, and I love that about you. Paige, what about you?
Well, my room, when I was little, of course, had the feature wall of wallpaper, and it was green and pink and red, yellow. I loved it. My bedspread matched it.
Oh.
And
Love the matching.
I had the dust ruffle that every morning when I tried to make my bed, I would have to straighten it and pull it up because it needed to be perfect.
Detail.
That OCD
Yes,
detail,
and,
which is good for a designer to have.
Yes,
Exactly.
it just everything needed to look right. And if I could have had one more thing in my room to make it perfect, it would have been the canopy bed that they sold out of the Sears catalog.
Oh, yeah.
Really wanted one of those,
Yeah.
but never had it. But I would say that I still love those primary colors.
Yeah, you
And
do.
if you come into my house today, you would see that I still have my greens and reds.
I have no
and
yellow in my
primaries.
house.
I'm going
by
to
the
say,
way.
you do have no yellow. You've kind of gone about, you have a little more blue. I would say
Yeah.
blues and greens
Yeah.
and those kind of things. But that's one thing I was about to say. I've always noticed, Paige, whenever I see like draperies or things that you order and have laid out, I see a lot of
More
those
color.
colors into it. You have that color, you have that pattern. You've got a lot of wallpaper, which how do y'all feel about wallpaper being more popular with more pattern coming
it's
back
great.
in? Y'all love the wallpaper.
I like it.
I do too. I
Yeah.
agree. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, wallpaper is just, it's going to be yuck and terrible. And I'm like, look at this behind us. Like, this
I
is
know.
incredible. Like,
It's
wallpaper
beautiful.
has evolved so much. And like, it's, to me, it's so
Right.
tasteful and just, it makes your space feel so much more custom.
And you can personalize your space with it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, all wonderful things.
We used to say that a person's backsplash was their calling card in their kitchen. So now we might say that their wallpaper would be their calling card.
So
Yeah.
your wallpaper
really-
and your matching bedspread were your calling card when you were
Absolutely.
little.
Yes.
Well, going into that, and so some questions that we get asked a lot are, about timeless design versus trendy design. We have a lot of people that come in and they want to be very on trend, even if they don't realize it. They see what's on social media, they see what's on TV, they see what's in magazines or on Pinterest, and that's not always timeless. And to me, when people are investing in wallpaper or they're investing in a nice sofa or rugs, things like that, how are these people, or how should they approach, timeless design versus this trendy design we may see all the time, like the grays that were, crazy for a while. Gray is out, and now we've got, some warm life color coming back in. But how would you, talk somebody through that? Like, let's make your home feel timeless rather than so trendy.
Well, like you mentioned, my mother and my sister, we like to have some things that are sentimental maybe to us, but I always think a beautiful antique chest is always something that's in style and always good, and it helps ground a room when you have some major key pieces that are beautiful. I mean, you can do any color granite or quartzite, but Carrara marble is always beautiful. Taj Mahal is a timeless.
There's some hard
if
finishes that
you
are going to
get
be
something
timeless.
like that, that's going to stand the test of time, as opposed to getting a bright color, in that would trend out, just like you said, the grays went out.
Yeah. What about you, Paige? As far as, if a customer comes in and says, I want my home to feel timeless, where do you start as well as pulling in their personal style, but saying, let's not be too trendy here?
I would agree with Gwynn on having a few key pieces, maybe mixing an antique with something current. But I also tell people to trust their sense of style.
Yeah.
So, in their sense of color. Just like as a child, those colors appeal to me. As an adult, they still appeal to me. And so
it's matured over time.
Yes.
But it's still
But
those
your favorite colors, you're going to
Exactly.
always
You're
like,
always
whether
gonna
that's
like
trendy
those.
or not.
Yeah.
And I usually tell people, get trendy on a pillow.
Yeah.
Because you
Right.
can change out a pillow, but you don't change
Yeah.
out your sofa or your granite or,
No.
those type things.
So tell me your thoughts on that. So if somebody came into the showroom and they're like, this is exactly what I want in my house, and I want it to feel timeless, but they start showing you inspiration photos and they're extremely trendy. How do you kind of balance that with, okay, you want your home to feel timeless, but these photos are, they're on that borderline of trendy, which I know is kind of a hard word to use, but would you pull in some maybe of that trending pattern or color through pillows or accessories or things like that? Kind of how would you balance that out?
Well, I have a great example of that because my daughter wanted to recover my wingback chairs in lime green and white. And I was
Bold.
I was like, Jamie, why don't we do a tan and white? And then you can buy a lime green frame, a lime green vase, a lime green pillow, something like that. You can change those out, but your chairs are going to stay that way for several years.
Oh, yeah. A lot less of an investment on the front end.
And she still has the tan and white chairs.
Yes. It's those neutral pieces. And sometimes, patterned and colored furniture is fabulous and wonderful and it fits in a space. But sometimes it is the better option to go more neutral and throw in a really fun pillow or a really fun vase and be able to swap those things out or move them around your house and make the whole space feel new. Because, you could take a white sofa and completely change the look of it with all different
you could
pillows.
have a winter look and a summer look.
Yeah, or a rug and things like that. And so not going so trendy, but let's say, you have a customer that has more modern taste, but they still want to kind of mix in some of those antiques. I feel like I've seen a lot of that recently, customers that come in, they're like, I have these beautiful pieces. I don't want my house to feel so modern because modern can get kind of cool sometimes or a little commercial based. How do you approach that conversation of, I want to incorporate antiques, but I still want to be modern?
I think you just have that juxtaposition of something, maybe curvy with something straight, that you kind of need that balance in a room. So you don't want it to look too one way, you just kind of have a balance of that.
And I've seen a lot of light fixtures lately that are more modern paired with antiques.
Yeah, they do.
And then with the antique, maybe do some modern art.
Yeah.
So I love the mix.
It's letting people know that the juxtaposition is okay.
Yes.
Like I know,
and it can work.
When we were at High Point, I saw some more traditional frames with more modern fabrics, and I feel like that was cool. It was a cool juxtaposition of this is a more antique style. It's obviously not an antique chair; they've just recreated an antique look, but the pattern on it was a lot more modern, and so it created a nice balance there visually.
And you need variety in every room.
Oh yeah.
So variety of pattern, variety of color, variety of style. To an extent, if you did an antique room and everything in it kind of looked antique, then it could be
almost
boring.
Yeah.
So to keep it visually interesting, you need to mix different elements,
different styles and elements, colors, patterns, and so we talk about timeless design versus trendy design. What about the customer that comes in and just does not know their personal style at all? They're overwhelmed. They don't know what they love. Like they may walk in the showroom and Carol strategically plans out our showroom to where everything marries together color-wise.
Pretty, yes.
But there's different styles and different pieces. What if somebody comes in and they're like, I love this fabric and I love this wallpaper and I love this chair. But when you look at them all together, it's like, oh, that is that's all totally, it doesn't marry well. Like you couldn't put it in their space. So, how do you approach that client and say, let's see what you like here. Let's find what your true style is to keep that timeless design.
Well, Paige and I both pull fabrics and put them together and lay them out so they can kind of see where we're heading with that. And if they say they don't like something, we just toss it aside and pull another one,
Yeah.
So we're trying to work with them along in the process so that they're happy. But lots of times they rely on us because we do this all the time, and they don't, and they want to know, well, what's going to look good, and I'll tell you what's going to look good, but there's a lot of different ways you can achieve that look.
So then you could pull a bunch of beautiful fabrics, and then by the ones they don't like, you kind of know, okay, this is a little more of your style, or this is a little more of what you like, and then you kind of get a gauge for what they gravitate to, which I feel like is what makes both of y'all and all of our other designers great designers, is that you're able to kind of read people that way and say you have all these beautiful options, but these speak to you more than
And
more than
a lot of
others.
the times I'll ask them to do the homework and bring in some things that they like,
Yeah.
pictures of things that they like, and then I can know that better. But I say this too, just from experience, just going into their homes. You kind of can see,
Yeah,
you know,
where they lean.
right, or how they dress or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of tell.
For sure. And so that leads me into, so let's say you have a wife come in. I know this has happened before. It happened the other day. Wife comes in. She's like, this is what I want. And maybe it's feminine and flirty and all the wonderful colors and things. And the husband is like,
I don't like
absolutely
pink.
not. The balance. What do you think is the best way to balance the two? Because obviously they both live there.
Yes.
And typically, I feel like in most situations, they want to agree on some things rather than
Right.
just having an overly feminine space and an overly masculine space. You know, you can always have
Right.
an office or a man cave or something that's a
Yeah.
little different. But marrying the kind of two styles or approaches, that's one thing I know y'all have to do.
I call it designing for the sexes.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes you have to pull the wife aside and say, look, let him have this one thing. I promise you, you know, this will
It's
make
the balance,
yeah.
the compromise.
And then, but you don't want to have a room full of compromise either.
Yeah.
You need to have
Yeah.
some things that they both like and they both agree on. But our job is to pull it together where it doesn't look too feminine for him and it doesn't look too masculine for her.
Yeah.
So that's where you get that other juxtaposition because you're doing two different styles, but you're making them cohesive. In one home.
Yeah, for sure.
And I try to find out like where they're coming from. Like if something is really important to a wife, or if something is really important to a husband, or to spouses, then I try to find out exactly what it is about that
Triggers something.
that triggers
for 'em.
something. Yeah,
What they like.
it might be that they perceive that blue is a dark and depressing color, so they don't want it. Well, what if we do this lighter blue that your wife really loves,
and go
and
about
it's
that way.
not?
Yeah.
See, I just try to find out where people are coming from,
Yeah, meet them in the middle. Figure out what the reasoning is behind. Well, I
and
hate
find out
that.
what
Yeah.
they do agree on,
Yeah.
Right.
and go there.
Because usually there's a common denominator
Yes.
in there.
Yeah.
It's just more so of, you know, like I know, for example, the other day I heard a couple on the showroom floor, and the wife loved this specific chair, and she loved the pattern, and she loved all that, and the husband was like, I hate it all of it. And then to come to find out, he didn't mind the colors in it, it was the pattern.
Yeah.
And so he felt like the pattern was way too feminine, or it was just too formal for what he wanted. And so it was like, okay, well, we can pull these colors in different fabrics
Right.
and kind of marry that design in
Yeah.
that way. So a
Yeah.
lot of creative freedom there to make sure everybody is happy and
That's
that
right.
their home is somewhere that they enjoy being.
Right.
And so with that comes, you know, you want your home to be livable, you want it to be beautiful, but more importantly, you want your home to be somewhere that you enjoy, you know, starting and ending your day.
Right.
And so one thing we get a lot too, you know, being in South Mississippi, a lot of people have, you know, it rains outside a lot, or lake homes, things like that. We've got pets, we've got kids, just life in general.
Yep.
And a lot of people come in and say, you know, I don't want anything too light. I don't want anything too expensive because I've got kids that are going to destroy it, or I got pets that are going to destroy it, or I've got a husband that's going to destroy it, or we live on a lake and we're going to track mud inside and ruin all of our rugs. How do you create, not compromises, but how do you almost create solutions for the people that come in, like, I can't do anything nice because it's all going to get destroyed? Because in reality, there's options.
A lot of people don't know about Krypton. How
Yeah.
bomber-proof that fabric
Yeah.
is.
So for
you
those that don't know
so-
what Krypton is, tell us what Krypton
So
is.
it's woven into the fabrics itself, but you can clean it with a mild solution of Dawn and water, you know, and just clean. Even if you have an off-white sofa, you can get it clean.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice thing that hasn't always been around, because I've been doing this a long time before they ever invented Krypton. But anyway, it is not. It's not. That's just a trademark name. There's a lot of different ones
Performance
that are
fabrics.
performance fabrics that are going to wear well for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Like our red wine test that we did on that bright white sofa. We
Or
poured
you
the
can
red
spill
wine.
coffee on
or
it, too.
coffee. And
Yeah.
I know in our own showroom, we've poured red wine and coffee, and I mean, it just beads up, and you have to have the specific fabric. It'll bead up, and you just wipe it right off.
Right.
And so I feel like when people see that, we probably need to do some more videos on that. I feel like when
Right.
people see that, they understand, like,
They're like, wow.
I could have a dinner party, or my
yeah.
child could, spill
Yeah.
grape juice. Like, I remember my most traumatic babysitting experience when I was in high school was that I went to this family's house, and they had just bought 2 white linen sofas, and the little boy fought me over his grape juice on the sofa, and I was like, nope. Well, he ran around the house and hit the sofa, and the whole cup spilled.
Oh,
And
my goodness.
it ruined the entire sofa. I cried, he cried, it was awful. And so I'm like, that could happen, but
Yeah.
if you prepare in advance for that, if you're getting that performance fabric or that Krypton fabric or whatever it might be, you can help prepare for those spills or for life or for the things like that may come up. So what are some other ways that you could potentially, help with the livability of a home? Krypton fabric.
Leather, inside out fabric, revolution fabric.
Yeah.
If you get something that is not one of those performance fabrics per se, there are topical treatments you can put on.
Scotch guard them, things like that. Yeah. What
Yeah.
about rugs? So I know, like, I always try to listen to conversations people are having just while I'm walking around the showroom. That way we can answer questions better and do things better.
Right.
If during rug sales,
Right.
some people don't want to go towards a hand knot because
Right.
they're like, oh, I have kids, they're going to ruin my rugs. What would you say to that customer?
I always tell them, rugs, the wool rugs are not considered antiques till they're 100 years old. So they're still in castles in England and all over Europe and everything like that. So if they'll last 100 years, I feel like you'd be pretty close to being safe.
Yeah, and you can get them clean. That's
Yes,
one thing too.
right.
They
We
clean
have a
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they clean sometimes better than your machine-made rugs.
Yeah.
Clean.
And if you have a spill on there, wool is naturally repellent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you do have a little bit more time to blot it out
Clean the wax.
and dry it out than you would with like a synthetic rug.
Right.
But we usually try to meet people where they are
Mm-hmm.
in their phase of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody came in and had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
I
And they
would say-
wanted a machine made.
I would say we could probably do an indoor-outdoor rug for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
know,
For
or-
sure.
Right. You can have the hand knot later.
Well,
Yeah.
but so you're honest, and that's what makes you
Mhm.
good at what you do.
Right.
You're just
Yeah.
be honest and upfront.
Well, just
Mhm.
figure out what's best for them. And
Yeah.
a lot of people do have pets, and they tell me I'm only going to keep this so certain
Right,
amount
yeah.
of years. So
Mhm.
you know.
And people know how they live, and that's
Right.
okay.
Right,
If you
right.
know that your dog's gonna be a messy one, then that's fine.
Or we have people with older pets
Yeah.
that need a rug, and they're like, I'm gonna trade this
Replace
out
this.
in a few years. So
Yeah.
we try to help people wherever they are.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And
lots
then
of
other
good-
people
We
are ready
listen.
to invest and do
Yeah.
a room that's going to be there
Right.
for
A long time.
a long time.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that since we have left the painted furniture
Mm-hmm.
phase, where we're starting to see a return to craftsmanship and
And beautiful woods.
beautiful
Mhm.
woods.
And you don't get that deep
Mhm.
richness in a painted finish.
Right.
Yeah.
But people are, I say, the disposable, interchangeable furniture phase is kind of,
Going
or
out.
trend is kind of trending out.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
people are coming in saying, I want to do a room. I bought a sofa 3 years ago. It's trashed. I want one that I'm going to keep
It's
for a
nice.
while.
Yeah.
People
Mhm.
get to that point where they value pieces that'll last longer.
Right.
Mhm.
And I always say if you buy nice, you don't buy twice.
Yeah.
So if
Very
you
true.
buy an 8-way hand-tied sofa, it's going to last and it's
Yeah.
going to look good and
Yeah.
everything. So
Well, and the good thing is you're great listeners. You have to be a good listener
Right,
to
you
be
do.
a good designer.
right.
And they play hand in hand. So if you're listening to the customer, their lifestyle, what they want, what they do, how they're living, you're able to kind of take their ideas and just take them to the next level.
Right.
Elevate their spaces, give them or provide for them a beautiful
Sometimes
design.
we stretch them just a little bit,
Just
but not
a little
too
bit.
much.
Just a little bit. And
Just
so,
make it beautiful.
Yes. And so kind of with that, stretching the client just a little bit, how do you help clients feel comfortable or make confident decisions of, okay, like we're ready to pull the trigger on this. Like, where maybe we were a little hesitant on these nicer window treatments, or maybe we're a little bit hesitant on a printed chair, whatever it may be. How do you kind of instill that confidence in the customer and say, this would be perfect in your home?
Well, I kind of went through that with Glenda, because my sister, because, she's like, Gwynn, I know you're good on color, but I got to look at this,
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and then like, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she did everything I asked her to do,
suggested.
and we're even recovering a chair in a big floral print right now that has a bird and all that in it. And she was like, I don't know about that, but she did it, and it's going to look fabulous when she gets it finished. But you just
she trusted the process.
You do need. We both work hard on establishing trust with our clients, and then they know that they can trust us to do the best job for them if they give us some. Leadway and let us do what we think that looks the best. I think you're happier with your room instead of saying, I want this, 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 and this. And sometimes it doesn't turn out the way they have it in their head. But if they'll let us help them and guide them, then it'll be pretty when we get finished with it.
And the reality of it is, a lot of people can't invest all the money
at one time.
At one time.
Exactly.
And so I know, like, I was joking the other day with Kyle, and I was like, I probably couldn't tell you some of your customers' names, but when they walk through that door, I know they're one of y'all's, because you'll have, repeat customers that keep coming back, and they trust y'all, first of all. But also, it's expensive to buy, whether it's high-end or, middle range, it's expensive to buy a lot of things at one time. It adds up between rugs, accessories, window treatments, wallpaper, whatever it may be. And so most people go in stages.
Right.
And so I feel like kind of instilling that confidence, and then would say, okay, well, we did this room first. It's fabulous. And so now I really trust Gwynn, or I really trust Paige to do the next room.
Yes.
And
then lots of times people girls will come in and they want new pillows on their sofa.
Yeah.
So we always have beautiful pillows, and we can just do something like that, and that just refreshes their spirit for their house. Okay, I've got something new.
Something new.
Yeah.
So that can be a fun little small fix.
Well, pillows and accessories really can change a space.
Right.
Yes.
You could strip a space of all of its pillows and accessories and put in a complete 180, and the whole space looks different.
Right. And we have so many beautiful coffee table books, and that adds to.
And that's a very not inexpensive, but it's a lesser expensive option than buying only furniture.
Right.
So for the person that's not ready or doesn't want to, or maybe just bought a really nice sofa or a really nice set of chairs.
Right.
Or
Start
really
working
nice
on your collection of accessories.
Then work on your collection of accessories and rotate them throughout your house, and be proud of that nice sofa that you bought, or be proud of that rug or whatever that one thing might be, and then move other things around it.
Right.
Because design is always evolving and changing and growing.
It is.
And y'all do a great job, I feel like, at keeping your customers up to speed, or the people that come in
we try
the door.
To.
So I love that. So, playing on that part, what's your favorite part, or what's the most rewarding part of you in the design process? From start to finish, what's your favorite, most enjoyable part? New customer walks in, returning customer walks in, whatever it may be.
I think when I see a smile on their face and they see the vision that I'm forecasting, and they go for it, they're excited about it. And then when we get the room finished, it looks as good as you told me it was going to. They're happy with it. And that's what gives me the most satisfaction, is when my customer is happy.
Because
you'll get repeat business if they're happy, and they're going to tell other people. And
word of mouth is the best. And I know sometimes I forget that people, like, I know we as designers, y'all as designers, y'all are like visionaries. So you see things before they come to life. And a lot of people struggle with that. People that are not in the design industry. And that's one thing I have to remind myself. And so I agree that would be extremely rewarding, get to see the customers excited because they're finally understanding. Like, this is the vision. This is where we were trying to get all along. And that's where you got me. And word of mouth is great too. That's what brings other people in. And when one customer's happy, it brings more in.
Right.
And so it keeps us busy, and it keeps life fun, and from furniture and all. And I know, Paige, you do, or y'all both do, but I know Paige in particular, you've done a lot of window treatments in the past, custom window treatments. Yes. And I was saying in another podcast, what's one really nice thing about Anderson's as a whole is that there's so many designers and there's so many resources within each designer. And like, I know if I have a question about, really high quality furniture, or if I have a question about the history of something, or if I have a question about some antiques, I'm going to Gwynn. Like, Gwynn has got vast knowledge. Like, Gwynn has got it all. And if I have a question about, really particular question about window treatments, I'm more than likely going to go to Paige. Just because everybody's good at everything, but everybody's also really, really, really good at like one thing. And so I feel like that's really cool to see, because we can all be great. We can all be the best, but it's fun that everybody kind of has something that they're the best at.
Right.
Which I really enjoy.
Which helps us because
we get to be team
bounce
players.
each other things off of each other, and we know each other's customers, and we always speak to each other's customers and everything, so they're comfortable.
It makes it an inviting place.
Right.
It makes it an inviting place for sure. And I know too, for Lakin, people that walk into our showroom, and Lakin sits with y'all, and she's kind of able to be mentored by y'all. Lakin started as an intern with y'all, with Paige, and so y'all have kind of been able to grow, which helps her confidence, helps customers that come in. She's doing an incredible job. And so it's really sweet to see that we've got such a gym here that we can all help each other. Even though you've got your own customers, your own clients, you're still are able to pitch in, help each other.
We do help each other,
kind of get a feel for that. And so another thing, just kind of playing off of that rewarding smile, and your thoughts and your opinions, you're designing a room, let's say just a room, for example. How do you know when that room feels complete? Like, do you have a sense of feeling when you're like, all right, this room, it feels done? Not necessarily counting budget, not necessarily those kind of things. Like, you're like, okay, this room feels perfect, even if it's taken 5 years to get there.
Yes.
What's kind of your thoughts on that? Is there a feeling of that, or is it more so like it's always a gradual?
Well, I'll say
evolution?
this: when I do something for somebody, and then I go back in a year or so, and it still looks good, I'm like, oh, this does look
great.
good.
This is great. Yeah,
I love it when it's like, okay, I still like it, and everything. So that makes you feel good that they can live in their room when you leave, and it looks good. But there's always, for me, I don't ever feel like it's done, because I will always want to change stuff at my house,
Yeah, I think most people are like that.
Do things, and then once I have things for a while, I want to change them out, because I see all the new things, and I want some of the new things, too. So it is an evolution of, and.
But then there is that moment when somebody just like lets you do it.
Right.
And it's fun. They work with you, but they allow you to finish.
Yeah.
Because so many
Finish
times we don't get to that finish line. And so we have it in our mind.
What it could look like.
Ooh, what could I do here?
Yeah.
And so, but for one reason or another, we don't get to do that. So there are those moments when somebody says, let's do this project. And you say, let's do it. And then when you get all the artwork on the wall, get the window treatments done, get the rugs down, get the accessories put in place, or when the hardware goes on and the appliances are set in the kitchen, and you just walk in and look, and you're like, this looks good.
Yeah.
It's a great
that wow
feeling.
factor kind of
Yeah.
moment.
It's a good feeling.
It affects us too, because we're happy about it.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes, which I don't know if a lot of people realize, that y'all do renovations, y'all do new constructions, y'all don't just do soft finishes. I know, especially like, Paige, you've had your hands in the dirt. Like, you've renovated.
Yeah, she's done a lot
with your husband, and y'all.
Well, I started
fully immersed.
when I came to work for Anderson's. I started in flooring, and so I worked in the flooring, and then I was in builder services. So I've done apartments, where we have put stock carpet, and my sweet apartment people will know who they are because I love them. And then I've done builder. We've done starter homes, custom homes, super custom homes, and then remodels. I think remodels are my favorites.
Yeah.
Because you get to
transform an old house to a new house.
There's just something about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing
love
that with furniture and accessories and draperies and window treatments, it's probably harder to get to that I'm finished point. Whereas with a remodel or renovation, you know, you're kind of waiting and anticipating, and there has to be somewhat of a finish line. You know, like it may not be fully dressed out, it may not be fully accessorized, but you've got to the point where that space is completely transformed. And I feel like that's probably a very rewarding, you know, feeling of getting to do that.
And I always go to Paige because she's my go-to girl about that. But then when I came on board, like you said, I'm the furniture queen. I know all about furniture. And Paige started selling more furniture. So, you know, we've kind of
play off of
paired
each other.
off of each other. Because if I have a question, I'll ask her. And she, you know, and then sometimes she's like, well, where is that piece of furniture?
Exactly.
And, you know,
where can I get this? Gwynn, explain this to me.
Explain this to me. Be honest. Just tell me.
So
just kind of for both of y'all, and I know it's hard to pick one, but if you had one project, it could be recent, it could be in the past, you had one project that's just stuck in your mind, it's your favorite project you've ever done, or maybe not your favorite, but one of your favorites, what would that be? It could be furniture, it could be renovation.
I've already got in my mind which one.
Which one is it?
My sisters.
Your sister. Your sister
and
is so fabulous.
And my sister, she came here and she was retired.
She moved from Nashville?
No, Johnson City, Tennessee.
I knew it was Tennessee.
Yeah. Anyway, Tennessee. She moved from Tennessee, and she came here, and she bought this house, and I helped her do it and everything like that. But this is the cool thing about it. So I'm still working. I'm 70 years old, and I'm still working, and she's retired. She's younger than me. But she said, you know, we won't eat good if you know, if I just have to, I'll eat nabs and an apple. So she cooks for me every night.
Every night.
So I go to her house every day.
Night.
So I see her house and, you know, the progress. And she's a yard person. I'm the inside person.
Her yard is beautiful.
Her yard's fabulous. But I'm I like for mine to look good, but I don't love sweating like that, like she does. But anyway, but her house, just seeing the progression of that. And she has more of my art than anybody in. You know, I majored in art. And so I've painted a lot of things for her, and I see more of my stuff there than in any place else. So anyway, and she's dear to my heart, so that's one of my favorites.
It's a special. It's also a little bit nostalgic. You know, she's moving home, or she's moving here where you are, so now you've got all your siblings. You have dinner with your sister every night. Y'all sing in the choir together.
Yes.
It's kind of like a returning home type moment. So that's really sweet. What about you, Paige?
Well, I've had so many through Anderson's that the one that sticks out, like my favorite thing I've done since I've worked here, and it says a lot for who we are as a company and who Mr. Anderson is as a leader. It was a Make-A-Wish room. We did through, I think, USM, and I signed up to do the window treatments. It was just some pink satin blackout curtains. And we did them, and my installer and I drove to the house away and installed the window treatments. And that was like the last thing that, went in. But there were twinkle lights on the ceiling, and the whole room was dim, and they had the pretty twinkle lights going everywhere, and the hot pink satin curtains, and
it made some little girl happy.
being with the family and the Make-A-Wish,
it was a simple simple project, but it made
it was
such
like my
difference.
heart grew 3 times that day.
And
that's
awesome.
That it was probably 13 or 14 years ago we did that.
And you're wearing your pink today.
You are.
Pink.
It's sweet the things that you remember. You know, you've done thousands and thousands of jobs. I mean, over 18 years. And it's like, you know, for that to be your favorite says something about you
my
and,
favorite.
you know, your character and who you are and what you do. And y'all are both very talented. And I'm very thankful for y'all and your abilities and all your knowledge. Because I know y'all help me, you know, in and out. And now that I'm more in the marketing standpoint, it's a little bit of a different dynamic. But especially when I was the assistant down there for Kim and Lindsay, I loved to ask questions. And Paige helped me quote wallpaper, the infamous Katsura wallpaper.
I think I'm the only person at Anderson's
that can accurately quote wallpaper.
She does.
I don't know how I do that.
I don't
She's
know
like,
either.
You drop this
She's
and
got
do that.
that
And I was
math
like,
brain.
I don't know. And I have a math brain. I'm like, why can't I not figure this out? She was like, it's just simple. And I was like, nothing about this is simple, Paige. This is like routine for you or something.
I don't know.
But
it's the pattern repeat that I
pattern
can.
repeat. Pattern repeat is what gets me.
Miss Betty Davenport taught me everything I knew about window treatments
Mm-hmm.
and pattern repeats.
That's
And
what
it
I'll say
carries
about you one
over-
day.
Carries over from fabric to wallpaper.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there one day saying it was Paige Charbonneau that taught me about window treatments and pattern repeat.
And carpet.
And Gwynn taught me about an 8-way hand tied sofa.
That's right.
Alrighty, as we wrap it up here, I'm going to do a little quick fire round. So I'm going to spit out a couple different options, and you are just going to give me your preference. So I'll say several different categories, or ask you a little question, and you just give me your preference.
Okay.
So to start us off, y'all can answer same time, different times. It could be quick little answer here. Wallpaper or wainscoting? You got to choose one.
Oh, I do. I like both.
That's what I was thinking.
Just one. Wallpaper or wainscoting? Not
Right now, I'd
not
say
a mix.
wallpaper.
Wallpaper.
Wallpaper. If we can't have both.
You can have do you have a famous wallpaper? I mean, not famous. Do you have a favorite wallpaper off the top of your head?
Katsura.
Katsura. Katsura Garden. Maybe not.
I think I
think my favorite's this mural behind us.
I know, that's
it's
beautiful.
fabulous.
I think I like the murals. Kravitz got some really good ones. Some
you
good
like some
looking
fun
paper.
pattern. You like some fun pattern.
I've been going crazy with the Kravitz website.
You're going crazy with the Kravitz. I love it.
GP and J Baker.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I want them all.
Just
Right.
berries in it. Well, that brings us into paint colors. Okay. Favorite paint color. It doesn't have to be a specific name, but a shade, a color range. What is your favorite paint color right
Well,
now?
y'all know mine. Blue, gray, green. It's all mixed into one.
All mixed into one.
You know, like, is it blue? Is it, it's not gray.
It's like
but
it's warmer.
it's got blues and greens in it, but it's just a soft color. I like that.
It's almost like a neutral. Like that blue, green, gray is like a neutral, basically. You could paint your walls and it not be like, whoa, what'd we do?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think mine, because I do work with so much color in rugs and everywhere else, I've tried to keep it kind of neutral. I'm glad to see that the white walls have morphed into cream walls.
They're definitely warmer.
Yeah. And it seems to be that we're getting a little more depth.
Yeah.
Not necessarily back to gold, but depth.
Yeah.
And I like that.
And so your style is more like a neutral color like this table, but then you pop it with your brighter colors
Right,
and
yeah.
accessories.
Which is good,
Because
Like
you
this
can't have all of it.
This green
Right.
bowl looks really good sitting on this
table.
cream
Yeah.
color.
And it's not overwhelming. You don't
Right.
have crazy walls, crazy color everywhere
Right,
else.
right.
It
Well,
gives you
your
a good
eye
subtle
needs to, it doesn't need to be going
everywhere.
like
Exactly.
that all over
Yeah.
the place.
Gives you a good base. I love it. So
What does
a room.
Gwynn say? You can have great earrings, you can have a great scarf, you can have a great belt, and you can have a great handbag, but you might not need to wear all of them at
at
the
once,
same time.
you'll be a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So much
Right.
wisdom.
Let it stand
Yeah.
for itself.
Yeah.
Let that bag, show that bag
Right.
off. So a room that you would always splurge on, or your favorite room to splurge on. It could be the kitchen, living room, dining room, whatever your favorite room is. to
Your
splurge
great
on.
room where you sit and
Family
enjoy
room.
time with your family and everything like that. I always tell people do your public rooms first. Nobody's going into your master bedroom when you have a party usually. So, always start with those
Yeah.
public rooms first.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Paige loves to do kitchens.
I do. I love
I
kitchens.
love kitchen. So what's one item you would splurge on? It could be a rug, could be a sofa, anything. What is
Buy
one?
a good sofa.
Buy a good
Buy
sofa.
nice and don't buy twice. 8-way hand tied, hard to wood killed right frames. A good sofa that's going to last you. And, if you get some of these performance fabrics, they're really going to last a good time. And then you can just put pretty pillows and change it up.
I just say invest in everything. It's your house.
Yeah.
Right.
Just overtime.
Yeah.
Right. A nice rug's always a good thing to
Yeah.
have.
Like Gwynn says,
Buy nice.
buy nice, don't buy twice. But I'm kind of an artwork junkie, so
Yeah,
if
you
I were
are.
gonna,
You do like that.
if I was going to splurge on something, it would
Yeah.
be lamps
Yes.
and art.
You do love some
Right.
lamps. But art
Right.
is why you need the neutral walls.
I
You got to
know.
have a good base for that art.
Right. Right.
And then to really finish us off here, and y'all can both answer, one of you can answer. What is one piece of advice that you would give a customer either walking into our doors for the first time or wanting to start, a great collection of pieces?
Go ahead.
Just say, go ahead. Just say, get it, Paige.
I'm going to answer first every time.
Nobody rush to
I would just
answer.
say, we know what we're doing here.
Right.
we've got your best interests at heart.
I would hope you know what you're doing after 20 and 30 years.
Yeah.
I would hope.
And I would just say, whenever I get done with your house, I don't want it to look like I did it. I want it to look like you did it with some help.
Yeah, like you don't want to like Paige Charbonneau signed her signature across my room, and it's going to be the same in all the other 100 customers' houses she did.
Well, you just see a lot of coffee table books that somebody's designed, and all of their houses look
the exact
similar.
same.
I think it takes more talent to pull together what they like and put your little spin on it, or help them with the fabrics or something like that, where it's individual to them. I think that takes more talent than doing the same repeated look 100 times, you know, like that. So I like collecting things. Like my mother's pink depression dishes are in
That's all in your
Glenda's china
sister's house.
cabinet.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
something
beautiful.
that is important to you, we can make it work in your space. We we have to help you pull it together. And
If you have 500 of them, we might not use all of them.
that's true.
We might have a couple, but
We
we'll
might
make it
leave
work.
some
We might have to edit some.
Just
but,
because you have the
know.
art doesn't mean we have
need
to
it
hang
all.
it. Yeah.
But, well, that's
Right.
great advice from you both. And thank you for sharing your knowledge today,
Well,
for
thank
taking the
you.
time to sit with me and chit chat a little bit. Thank you all for listening. If you've made it this far in, we are excited to learn more about the design industry and what all we can do within Anderson. So you'll have to join us next time and be on the lookout for our next podcast. Thank you so much for watching At Home with Anderson Design Center. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and we will see you on the next one.